Hello, Internet, it's the 4th of July, and in America, you know that means one thing: day drinking. Now, of course, sometimes you want to do an educated day drinking. You want to pretend that you know what you're talking about when you say that, this is a delicious, I don't know, what do you drink? Wine? But wine is for people who like wine. Well, like me, but, you know, it's not a daytime kind of drink. So if you're day drinking, you either want to do cocktails, you know, your margarita is a classic, daiquiri, whatever. But sometimes you just want to slow it down. You don't want to get too drunk. You want to wait. You want to be sober enough to grill something, right? Because that's also an important part of 4th of July to some people who are not me. I don't know how to grill. That's somebody else's job. Anyway, so I thought, to help some of you guys out, if you are not an educated beer palate person like me, I'm a beer nerd. It's a thing. We will do a couple little craft beer reviews. And by a couple, I mean one, because I bought like a 6-pack. Anyway, so today I have the lovely Florida Cracker beer, which is a Belgian-style white ale, I can talk, it's a thing, brewed with coriander and orange peel from Cigar City Brewing in Tampa. And as you can see, it is actually a very lovely little piece of packaging. Nice, almost robin's egg blue color with a gold, very nice coloring. The can has a lovely little motif here of bowls, perhaps? I think that's a hummingbird and some saw palmetto. So, very Florida, I think, because it references the ranches that used to happen. Here we are. Here's an explanation. Though it's named for the 18th century cracker cowboys of the Florida prairie, the citrusy notes and effervescent body of this Belgian-style white ale make it perfect for any lovers of fresh air and outdoor adventures. Anyway, I picked this up because 4th of July is an outdoorsy kind of holiday. Even if what it is while you leave the door open, you let all the bugs come in, and then you kind of just sit in the doorway, getting your back gunned by the AC if it's hot where you live, like it's hot where I am, and then you're outside in the sunshine, and then you're front in the sunshine, rather. So, I also picked this up because I think that a white ale, especially a Belgian style, which is something that I really like, is really good if it's neutral, sort of, for things like party snacks. Because in 4th of July, you're going to be eating chips and dip, salsa, you know, whatever, wings, hot wings. Hot wings is a good one. Goes very well with this because the coriander helps bring out some of the vinegar and it helps cleanse the palate. Anyway, so it's very nice. It goes well with a lot of party food. I've actually had one of these before, but I'm just going to pop it. I just didn't open this one yet because I wanted you guys to see. So, as we pop it open, nice little hiss. Now, because this is an American beer, it is meant to be drunk cold. There are several beers that are not meant to be drank cold. I like those too. But it's hot as shit outside, y'all. It is like 95 degrees, and that's before the heat index. So, we're drinking cold beer today. So, inhale it, it smells like beer. You know, some beers smell darker, some have a sort of chocolate coffee note if it's a dark beer. I love those too. But this one is very light, refreshing, almost a hint of citrus as we open it up. So, first impression, it's kind of like a spicier Blue Moon, which is very nice. Blue Moon is sort of a similar style, but as we all know, it is not a proper craft beer because it's made by, I think, Coors. I would have to Google that, but I know it's one of the big, like, 3 American companies that makes it. So it's not actually a craft beer, which I know sucks. But, so if you want to craft a substitute for Blue Moon, I would say this is really well. I picked up a 6-pack of this for like $10 at the grocery store. It was not bad, not a bad price. So, it is actually very refreshing. You know, nice, cool, summertime beer. Very good. I'm a big believer in drinking to the seasons. So, good. Now, the real test is, you gotta have some chips to go with it. Let's see how the salty food does. So, these are the chips I'm going to be eating to go with my beer today. They're just your classic tortilla chips. You know, bag costs $2. It's a big one. So, that's all you really need. They're tortilla chips. The dip I have today is organic tzatziki Greek style yogurt dip. It's an enormous thing because my boyfriend likes to shop at Costco and he likes tzatziki. So, you know, that's what we had. But that's the good test. You want something, a very classic 4th of July dip is cool and refreshing. You'll have, you know, your classic cream cheese onion dip. It's like that, very dairy based. Cheese dip is spicy, but it's also dairy based. So a lot of your big dips are going to be dairy based, which this one is because it's, you know, yogurt, tzatziki, cucumber, dill. It's good shit. Anyway, so we'll try it with just the tortilla chip. Just, you know, nice, good salt coverage. That's why I like this brand too. It's salty. It's a tortilla chip. What can you say about a tortilla chip? Other than, you know, it's not a corn chip, which, fun fact, tortilla chips are not corn chips because tortilla chips are made from masa, which is a specially processed corn dough which has gone through nixtamalization, which is a process which will help release some of the proteins, and it makes the corn actually go into a dough, and then it's made into tortillas, and then the leftover tortillas are cut up and fried, or in the case of tortilla chips, they're just kind of made and then fried, because tortilla chip is popular. However, the classic tortilla chip is made from tortillas that you made yourself, freshly, with masa harina, which is you know, type of corn dough that you just rehydrate. It's very good. You should pick some up. It's a secret to a good chili. By the way, thicken it with masa. But so the only reason that your chips go into that your tortilla chips become tortillas in the first place beforehand is that they go into a dough because they've gone through nixtamalization, which is a process of soaking in lye. Anyway, so tortilla chip. Okay, so because this is a very neutral flavored snack, is you know, the beer, which is also fairly neutral flavored, that's why I picked it up, you know, is not, you know, it's not super stunning, but it, you know, this chip's very salty, it quenches the thirst. You know, some of the spice notes are a little diminished in flavor of the bland chip, I suppose. I don't know why that is, but it happened. I tasted a little more of the orange, which was interesting. All right, so now chip with dip. Which, by the way, you can make your own tzatziki. It's cheap. It's delicious. It goes really well on a lot of things. It looks way fancier than it actually is. So, chip with dip. Well, that's very nice, actually. So, tzatziki being a yogurt-based dip, yogurt being dairy, leaves a layer of fat over the tongue, which is, fun fact, why you were supposed to have a red wine with a lot of tannins, or just a white wine even that's very dry. Dry wines to go with anything with a heavy dairy presence in your meal, because the tannins in the wine, which is what causes it to be dry, strip that fat layer off your tongue so you can actually taste your meal. That's why wines taste better, dry ones, with a very fatty meal. That's why you're also supposed to have a dry wine with salmon, which is a very fatty fish, steak, and pork. So, anyway, this is very nice because the tzatziki is, it's very spiced. Not in a bad way, but you taste also the yogurt, but you taste dill and cucumber and garlic. That's the word. But the nice part about that is that when you take the beer, tip of the beer is, you get a little bit of the harshness of it, just not because of the beer itself, just because any beer has kind of a hoppy taste, so it is slightly harsher. But any of that is sort of just, it strips out that sort of dairy feeling of your mouth. So, I don't have a numerical scale yet, but I would say, you know, if you like a light colored ale, if you like something with a little note of spice, if you like Blue Moon, but, you know, you're like me and you're finicky and you only want to drink craft beers and you don't want to support Coors and their whole thing, I would say the Florida Cracker is the way to go. Now, if you're not a big fan of something with, this has a slight hoppy taste to it, not a ton, not super noticeable, just, you know, about as much as any pale-ish ale, light ale will have. This is not technically a pale ale because I don't like pale ales still. Because I'm a picky bitch. Anyway, so I would say if you like Blue Moon, if you like generally stuff like that, if you like Fat Tire, actually I picked this up because I thought it would be similar to Fat Tire, which it is, it's just more spiced. If you like Blue Moon or Fat Tire, I would say try this one. It's really good. It's good for being outdoors. I would not have it with a very heavy meal. It's good for probably, burgers and hot dogs and, chips and dip, hot wings. I would not have it for anything fancy. I would not have it for anything that's like, what do people eat? Alfredo pasta, anything with shrimp. It would not be good with seafood. This is not a good seafood beer. Anyway, so that's my little review. Packaging, very nice. The nice part is that when you get the 6-pack, by the way, I got mine and it was just, 6 cans, a little plastic thing, which is nice. I like to not have to, collapse the entire box of the beer thing. And then that way I have less material to worry about. It's better for the environment. Anyway, so that was M's craft beer like makeup reviews. We'll be back some other time when I have another craft beer to review for you guys. Bye!